idea I wanted to talk about today is from the Sixth Meditation, and that is substance dualism. So Descartes, as one commentator says, is probably the reason, one of the main reasons that you and I think of the world as divided into two things, at least two things. In particular, we're talking about matter or material things and mind or mental things. And so what Descartes does in the Sixth Meditation is tries to review what he did early on in the first and second meditation, the idea of the cogito, that he has this clear and distinct idea of himself as a thinking thing. So he takes a closer look again at those original ideas and presents two arguments. So to look at these arguments, we'll turn to page 62, or this is section number 78, to see the very first one. He says, "It is true that I may have a body that is very closely joined to me, but nevertheless, on the one hand, I have a clear and distinct idea of myself insofar as I am simply a thinking, non-extended thing. And on the other hand, I have a distinct idea of a body insofar as this is simply an extended, non-thinking thing. And accordingly, it is certain that I am really distinct from my body and can exist without it." So in this first argument, he says he's got these two ideas. One is of a body and one is of his mind. He says that on the one hand, the body has the property of extension, which just means taking up space. Okay, an extended body can be measured. And if you think of Descartes and his invention of the XY coordinates in geometry, this gives you an idea. He's really into geometry, and he's really thinking about the self in terms of that. So to have an extended body just means you're taking up space in the world. Okay, but when he thinks about his mind, he reflects upon his thinking process. His mind doesn't take up space in the same way. It's not like you can measure your mind as being 1 foot or 2 feet long or whatever, or fitting into the XY coordinates. That just doesn't seem to make sense to him. So because these two ideas are clear and distinct, he thinks that they must represent two different things or substances. And so insofar as he is a thinking thing, then he is one kind of substance. He may have a body, and he makes comments throughout these meditations that indicate that he thinks he's closely connected to this thing, closely conjoined to this thing called the body, but he thinks he can live without it, that it's not necessary for his existence that he have a body. And so that's his first argument. The second argument comes a few pages later. This is section 86, and this is the argument for divisibility. He thinks that you take the body and you can divide it. You can take off an arm or a leg or a hand, and in fact, you're still just as much the same person, even if you've lost a limb. On the other hand, if you think about the mind, it's not something that he thinks can be divided. You don't take off parts of your mind. There's no left side or right side or members of your mind. It's a unified thing. And so because these two ideas have separate properties, have separate characteristics, they can't be the same thing. And this I'm going to reach now to, in the coming years, to Leibniz, the philosopher Leibniz, who had this law of identity, that if two things don't have the same characteristics or the same properties, then they're not identical. So people are tempted these days to identify oneself with one's body or one's brain, more likely. But if the brain or the body has different characteristics from the mind, Descartes would say, then they just can't be the same thing. They can't be identical. And so his conclusion is that he is a thinking thing. He has a body. That's his conclusion at the end of the Sixth Meditation. There is an external world out there, but he depends upon the existence of God to guarantee the truth of his sense experiences, his experiences of the world and experiences of his body. But he thinks he is a thinking thing, and that is distinct from his body. So this idea of substance dualism is still around with us today, although not many philosophers embrace it. There's a whole field called the philosophy of mind that starts with this idea that Descartes put forward. And so that's why I think he matters and is still relevant today. So I hope you enjoyed this discussion.